can't decide if having the boundary not to discuss politics with my parents was a good idea or a really bad idea. It was a hard line in the sand my brother and I both had to draw a few years ago. I think especially after J6, it was like we can't even discuss the two different realities we live in, so let's just not discuss it at all. And it did appear to make things better because we weren't arguing about politics. To be clear, it's never my brother and I arguing with our parents about politics. It's my dad making everything political, even like your favorite type of cookie is a gay liberal choice, apparently. And by saying, like, do not talk about this stuff, do not bring anything up, I feel like it just made my dad more radical and isolated him from probably the two only sources of his life that have like an actual perspective on reality. By the time inauguration came around and Elon did his Roman salutes, I could not stand it anymore. I had to ask my dad, like, tell me you saw, tell me you know what that is and that you acknowledge that that's what that is. And he couldn't do it. He actually got mad at me for even making the suggestion. That's not a like, ask your fiance, he'll tell you. Oh, ask a man, he'll tell you. And he actually said to me that Kamala is the fascist. Kamala is the one who's going to oppress, would have oppressed. I can't even form the words to like replicate what he said to me. I guess the whole point of me saying this, if anyone like is familiar with my little corner of the internet, I talk about emotionally abusive, neglectful, emotionally unintelligent parents and that effect it can have on us. And I haven't posted a lot of content because I decided that day that until you can tell me what's happening in this world with like an ounce of reality and realism, then I'm not speaking to you, because I cannot associate, I cannot be around fascist sympathizers. Anyway, I just feel like maybe if he was like less abusive of a person, emotionally less angry, my brother and I would have been able to like have these conversations with him over the years. But in reality, it's just been like, he's just a very angry, scary man, and we shouldn't have to subject ourselves to it.
Welcome back to Afro Judy. I really appreciate your support and I hope you all are doing great. People are going no contact with their families, friends, and even relatives after the 2024 elections in the United States. Today, politics is not viewed as a policy preference but as a moral stance. I came across the videos of this lady. She was saying that she went no contact with her dad, who voted for Trump in 2024, and she explained the reasons as to why she went no contact with the dad. This is not the first case. I've been watching several videos of people going no contact with their friends, families, and even relatives, and they say that today, if you vote against my rights, that means you vote against me. So guys, I want us to watch these clips together, and credit goes to this lady because she's the original creator of these clips. I'm your presenter, Judy. So let's dive in.
My dad's identity is right-wing politics. My mom's identity is her kids. Both problematic, both extremely damaging. But I have known for a long time, since 10, 11, 12, that my relationship with my dad would be superficial. Because everything, one way or another, comes back to politics. This was way before MAGA, way before Trump. In that way, I have always known that I don't really have a dad. To me, my mom's bullshit is much more sinister. When a parent makes their kids their identity, those kids become vessels for that parent's emotional validation. Everything in that parent's life revolves around not the well-being of the kids, the optics of the kids, because that's a representation of the parent. My mom's specific flavor of this type of neglect and abuse is to look like a loving parent. I'm 35 now. I only started to realize this at 30, and in hindsight, all of those years of my life, I have to untangle what was real, sincere mother-daughter connection and what was a facade. What was an action done not out of love, but out of this anxious need to feel validated through your children. And yes, the benefit of that, and if you can say that I benefited, is that it means I got a lot of nice things growing up. I had a lot of like freedoms and attention, so my mom wanted to be the cool mom. But in hindsight, it also meant I also didn't really have a mom. What this looks like in the present is leading up to the election, my brother and I both would be on long phone calls with our mom explaining everything, how Trump 2.0 is going to affect things in our lives. Her gay sister, my gay aunts, my brother who, is in like a quasi-queer community up in Boston, me in South Carolina with reproductive rights, even though I never want to become a parent because reasons. And she would say, oh wow, like I never thought about that. That's like a really good point. And I wish more people knew about this. And it's just so bad that this is the world we live in. All bullshit. And so it's not just about the politics, it's everything in my life. I have to question, was that done because of a sincere drive of motherly intention, or because you like to be able to talk about your kids on Facebook and be someone whose kids still talk to them and want to come home for Christmas? And that feels a fuck ton shittier than, my dad doing his like, oh, you think you're better than me bullshit. It feels like being used. It feels icky. It actually makes my skin crawl. And furthermore, even more fucked up is that it actually kind of makes me feel bad for my fucked up dad. Because yes, he is a raging, angry white man, but he has always been that. He has never hidden that. My mom hides. She hides behind lies, she hides behind manipulations, she hides behind triangulations. Because of that, she's gotten to be the fun parent, the nice parent, the safe parent, the cool parent. She obviously knows and fears being her authentic self, because then people, her own kids, wouldn't like her. And realizing that you might have a lifetime of being manipulated in this way is incredibly damaging. My dad is the crazy raging Trumper of our family, but my mom has been silently participatory in it, and that has been more painful and damaging for me. I haven't talked to either of them since the night before the inauguration. For anyone who didn't watch that previous video all the way through, my dad, who is a World War II history buff, would not admit the Roman salutes were Roman salutes. I told him he needs to really step out of his bubble and take a look at things, and he said, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? Which, like, I don't know what do you even say to that? Like, that's the way it works. Like, you want your kids to be better than you. So yes, somehow my brother and I ended up the way we are. My mom has always claimed to be apolitical, even though socially she's probably even more bigoted than my dad. My mom didn't need to be indoctrinated by Fox News to become a racist, bigoted, misogynistic pick-me. She just hides it really well, which is why she is more damaging to me than my dad. And this has a huge overlap with the conversation about emotionally immature parents and that sort of thing, because a lot of people will talk about having like overtly abusive, angry, whatever parents. Like my dad definitely falls into that category, not physically, but definitely emotionally, verbally abusive, for sure, 100%. But the way my mom abuses her kids is by manipulating them. It's by taking on behaviors that make it look like she's a loving parent. But if you do what she perceives as a slight, she will flip out. The night before the inauguration, I told my dad, I cannot associate with fascist sympathizers and apologists. And I meant that. I 100% meant that. Like, that's actually, the fact that you cannot see that this is what it is actually makes this decision very easy for me, because you are so far gone that I don't have to question whether not ever talking to you again is the right decision. Sidebar, when I said that I can't associate, he said, great, now you made your mother cry, good job. So just so you know what we're dealing with here. 3 days later, like nothing ever happened, my mom texted our group chat with me, my fiance, my dad, my mom, and my brother, and was like, hey, we're gonna be in town for whatever doctor appointment. Do you want to all get lunch? And all I said was, I do not associate with fascist sympathizers. Which, by the way, was she crying when she heard that the first time, or did she not crying? You're just saying that to make me feel bad. Or was she, and now she's just pretending like it never happened? All of these things are like probably the truth. Anyway, because I said that, she like flipped out in this group chat with all of my most loved ones. All the things we've done for you, this is too far, blah, 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 blah. Mom, you voted for him. You've claimed to be apolitical. You've listened on the phone while I've like basically cried to you that if we ever wanted to have a kid living in South Carolina, like I could fucking die. And she's like, oh, I had never thought about it that way. Like, and you claim to be apolitical, but these things, like, you hear the sadness, the fear in your children, both me and my brother, and it doesn't register to you. It registers when you feel like your kids are being taken away from you, though. And your idea of bringing your kids back into you is to insult me and embarrass me in this group chat. So this overlap of toxic politics and families falling apart, I feel like they were probably toxic even without the political infiltration a lot of times. The things that made the family members toxic are what makes them drawn towards MAGA. It's so much more peaceful not having to deal with any of that. Whenever I feel guilty about not talking to my parents anymore, I ask myself this: why would I expose myself to people who I have to go to therapy, I have to seek self-care and healing in order to be around every time I'm around them, who have never gone to therapy for me, who refuse to go to therapy or do any type of self-help, self-reflection, development for me? I wouldn't walk across hot coals for someone. So why am I doing that every time I see my parents, emotionally speaking? When they not only will not walk across hot coals for you, they won't even think of the idea to sweep away the coals so you have a clear path to walk through so you don't get hurt. It doesn't even occur to them that it hurts you to have to see them. And there are layers of it, because that it doesn't occur to them that it could be hurtful, that their lingering traumas and bullshit that they refuse to work through hurts you, is hurt in of itself, because it's like you're aware of the neglect and they are not. It's really helped me look at my time, my space, my health as a value. It has a value, a monetary value if you're talking about the cost of therapy, and it helps to take them off the pedestal, because naturally as kids our parents are on a pedestal, and by thinking of it this way you're taking them and putting them on the plane of everyone else. And when you look at them as just everyone else, they're really old, miserable people who will never change, not even to save the relationship with their children.
Welcome back, guys. I really feel sorry for this lady, because having such kind of parents, and they have that character, it's inside them and they can't change. It's a bitter pill to swallow, and it's so hard to take. This dad knew exactly what he was doing, that it was wrong, and he don't ultimately care. The construction is so hard, but it was the right path that this lady took, because it can allow her to work on her mental health. Because if she continues living in such kind of family, or if she continues being in contact with such kind of parent, her mental health can be ruined. I know her mom was apolitical, but we can judge her on the other side, but on the other side, still, we can't judge her, because perhaps she didn't have a voice in that house. You've heard whatever she was saying, that her dad is such kind of man. Majority of people have those kinds of parents, but coming boldly online to express it is so difficult. And this is why they always say that don't discuss politics on the table, because you don't know you are going to hurt the feelings of someone, or how someone is going to take it, or you don't know what someone is really going through. And these some parents, some old parents, they still have that mentality that my child cannot correct me, that I must do this, I must vote for this person no matter what. This is the mentality that some of the old parents still have. But with this generation, I think such kind of things are not going to happen. And that's why a majority of people are deciding to go no contact with their families, with their friends, and even with their relatives. And they go no contact permanently. And actually, 2024 elections in the United States have taught people a lot. Politicians will promise you a lot of things, but very few will be fulfilled. They promise a lot just for you to vote for them into the office, because they know that they are going to benefit if they get into those offices. And it's the citizens who are going to suffer. This thing is happening everywhere. It's not only happening in the United States, even in our country. I know the politicians, how they are. They know that those offices have money and it will enrich their pockets. That's why when they go outside there during the campaigns, they promise people a lot of things, but none will be fulfilled. In fact, people will be experiencing a lot of negative than the positives that these politicians promised. And still, the older parents will still go ahead and vote for them. And even still, the younger generations, some of them will still go ahead and vote for such kind of politicians. And then they will come online and brag that, you know what, this is what I voted for. Some people are so happy when they see you suffering, and they can work so hard to make sure that you suffer most that one will be their happiness. And this is what majority of the people did in 2024, November 5th in the United States. They voted against people's benefits and rights. Some people voted for cheap groceries in the United States because they knew that the orange man is going to lower the economy of the United States and things are gonna be cheaper, especially the groceries. But right now, the prices are under the roof. And again, some of the MAGA people, they didn't learn how the tariffs works. They knew that it's the other countries who pays for this, not the United States. You know, their eyes opened up when Trump started imposing or implementing the tariffs. That's why they knew that we messed up. They wish they knew this earlier before voting for him. And again, some people voted against their very, very own rights. Some people voted against Obamacare because they knew that Obamacare is not Affordable Care Act. This thing is the same. Obamacare is Affordable Care Act. People still went ahead and voted against it because they didn't like Obama, because maybe they knew that it's benefiting the black community more than it benefits other communities, and they wanted to do away with it. Now, who is crying? It's them who voted for him. But back to the topic, this kind of parents, handling them is so hard. Staying with them at home, it's so hard because they won't be seeing your presence. Even if you do something, you try to do something positive at home. You try your best to impress your parents. They won't see your struggles. Like, they will be seeing your negative part more than they see your positive side. And they won't even appreciate anything you do good. I've seen such kind of parents, and it's so draining. People really get tired of their parents nowadays. It's unlike the 20th century where people were so close to their parents. They feared going no contact with their parents because of maybe generational curse or such some kind of stuffs like that. But now they call it the way it's supposed to be called, and they do it the way it's supposed to be done, because they say that if I go no contact with my parent, at least I'm going to have a peace of mind, stable mental health. But if I continue in such a narc relationship, it will be ruined. My mental health will be ruined. And this is why majority of the people are even going no contact with their friends just because of politics. You know, some people can say that politics cannot make you go no contact with your friends or families. No, people are waking up and this generation is woke. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this. And I really feel sorry for this lady. In fact, I'm sending hugs to her. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Kindly let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and let's keep the conversation going and also learn from each other. And also let me know if politics can make you go no contact with your families, with your friends, or with relatives. Until next time guys, I'm your presenter Judy, and let's meet on my next episode. Peace and love.